Major League Baseball season, postseason underway, and the first game between the Tigers and the Guardians. The Tigers in this one come out on top. It was an impressive performance by Tarik Skubal there. Take a look at that. He went 7 2/3 innings, 107 pitches with 14 strikeouts. Just absolutely phenomenal showing by him and the Tigers for that matter. The Guardians managed to get on base there, tied up the game, but ultimately lost it. They did have a runner in scoring position in the 9th inning with no outs. Were not able to capitalize on that. Game 2 tomorrow. First pitch is set for 1:08 Eastern. If the Tigers win, they go on to face the Mariners in the ALDS. Let's welcome in our GM, Jim Bowden here, Baseball Insider. All right, Game 1, impressive performance. I got to start with Tarik Skubal, though, because that was absolutely insane what we just saw. Not just that, the 14 strikeouts. He went so far into this game. Talk to us about his performance and just how dominant he was.
Yeah, Amanda, he had the best stuff he's had all year. In fact, he threw 11 pitches over 100 miles an hour, and all 11 pitches were the hardest pitches he's thrown all year. So that tells you the kind of adrenaline and stuff that he had tonight. Look, we've talked about him all year. He won the Cy Young last year. He's going to win the Cy Young Award this year. And this was the absolute blueprint of our expectations of this game. We thought we'd see a pitching duel. We thought Skubal would win the game because he's been the best pitcher in the American League. And it played out exactly how we thought, outside of how the Tigers were going to score their 2 runs to win the game. But for Skubal, 14 punch-outs, as you mentioned. He only gave up 3 hits. He went 7 2/3 innings. And yes, a season-high 107 pitches. But they won the game. They got a first-inning base hit by Spencer Torkelson, driving in a run. But then the game-winning hit ended up being a safety squeeze by Zach McKinstry, which is kind of fascinating because the Tigers bunted the second least of any team in the American League in the regular season. And this is how the Guardians normally beat the Tigers, by bunting. And here they reverse the fortunes here. And the Tigers, Zach McKinstry, gets it done for the win. On the other side for the Guardians, Amanda, Gavin Williams was absolutely dominant as well. In the innings that he pitched, 8 strikeouts and 1 walk. Gaddis came in, Cade Smith came in, they pitched as well. So the Guardians pitched good enough to win, but at the end of the day, they were facing the best pitcher in the American League and got beat.
Talk to me a little bit more about the Guardians, because I was reading comments online, and of course we have very angry fans after games, especially when your teams lose. But one said, if you can't score with a runner in scoring position with 0 outs, you don't deserve to win this game. Did you just not see enough from the bats? What was it on the Guardian side that ultimately ended up with the loss? Because you mentioned the pitching was so good.
Yeah, I think, Amanda, when Jose Ramirez ended up on third base with nobody out in the 9th inning, and he reached base because Spencer Torkelson couldn't scoop a 1-bounce throw by shortstop Javier Baez, who had made a great diving play to his left. Spencer couldn't get his glove up in time in order to scoop it, and that allowed Ramirez to get to third. So with him on third and nobody out, you would think you'd be able to score a run. But I thought Will Vest did a great job of pitching here. And then Ramirez, with 1 out, went on contact. He was at third base. That was the tying run. And as soon as the ball was hit, he took off for home plate. And obviously the pitcher, Vest, was able to field the ball and then trap him between the 2 bases and finally tag him out. So, look, I know it's frustrating for the Guardians, but look, they've won a lot of games, low-scoring games in the last month. They've had the best pitching in Major League Baseball over the last month, and they don't have to face Skubal in Game 2, and they don't have to face Skubal in Game 3. So, as I said this morning, I said I thought the Tigers would win Game 1 behind Skubal, but I thought the Guardians would win Games 2 and 3 to get to the next round. We'll have to see if I'm right or wrong. We'll find out tomorrow.
Okay, that's interesting. I was looking at the odds right now. The Tigers are -340. The Guardians are +270. Game 2 tomorrow. Give us a little preview of that. I'm not sure who's on the mound. I don't know if you have that information. What do you think we have coming up tomorrow?
Of course I do. Tanner Bybee will be on the mound for the Guardians. And, you know, we talk about the aces of the Guardians. It's really Gavin Williams is 1A and Bybee is 1B. So this is a dominant pitcher. They signed him to a long-term contract to be the ace of the staff. So he'll take the bump for Cleveland. On the other side, Casey Mize will be on the mound for the Detroit Tigers. He's going to pitch Game 2, according to manager A.J. Hitch. So there's going to be an advantage in the starting pitching between Bybee and Mize. So favor the Guardians at least that way. And then in the bullpen, you know, the Guardians have had one of the best bullpens in baseball the last couple of years. And now, of course, trying to pitch without Emmanuel Clase, who's on administrative leave. But I think we're in for another low-scoring game in Game 2 here. We'll see if the Guardians can even it up.